Good morning everyone, welcome to the official YouTube channel of Officers at 24/7. My name is Amanjot and today it's our 21st class related to principles and practices of banking. So in this session, in this series of principles and practices of banking, we are practicing MCQs or questions which are helpful for your preparation and to know how much you are capable of implementing the concepts in the questions. Okay. So before starting the session, let me know, am I audible to all of you and the PPT is also visible? Are we good to go? Okay, so let's start. So those candidates who are new to the channel, do subscribe the Officers at 24/7 so that you will be notified about all the upcoming sessions on the channel. And if you have not downloaded the 24/7 application yet, then do download the application. Okay. So here information for all of you that the English medium batch already started on 24/7 application since 16th April 2022. So this batch is particularly helpful for your JAIIB June 2022 exam, in which you will get 3 books related to Macmillan of your 3 subjects PPB, AFB and LRB. And after that you will get the 82 e-books to concept which is related to the concepts of your syllabus. And there will be a 84 mock test, and mock test is very important because to know that how much you have understand about the concepts, to know how much you are remember about the concept, you have to practice the MCQs. Then we have recorded videos available 24/7 for all of you, all the live classes which are running in this particular batch. So this batch's live class, if you miss someday, you will have a recorded video 24/7 with yourself. You can watch anytime when you want, and this videos will be available for you till the validity of a batch. Okay. Now, if you want to enroll in this particular batch, what you have to do, you have to go to the Adda 24/7 application and you have to visit the JAIIB CAIIB section where you find this particular batch. And at the time of availing this batch, you can use a Y496 code to get 78% discount on the MRP. Okay. Now let's start with the first question, which is asking about IPO. So initial public offering means that an unlisted company makes to the public for the first time what? A fresh issue of securities or offers its existing securities for sale. So what will be the right option related to the IPO? That whenever a company is issuing IPO, initial public offering, it means a company, an unlisted company is making the share public for the first time. Now when a company first time issuing shares for the public, is it giving you a fresh issue of securities or offers its existing securities for sale? What will be the answer? A, B, C or D? Now IPO stands for initial public offering. Raj Lakshmi is saying D. Okay, what about rest? Nisha is saying D, Vinay is saying D. Okay, everyone is going with the D option. That is true. So the right answer will be both 1 and 2 whenever we are talking about IPO, initial public offering, and the unlisted company issuing its shares for the public first time. It issue a fresh issue. It can issue a fresh issue of the security, or it can offer an existing security for the sale. Okay. So when we are talking about fresh issue, this fresh issue will come in the primary market. This fresh issue will come in the primary market. So in primary market, selling of fresh issue take place or new issues take place. But when we are talking about the existing security can be sold under the secondary market. So we know whenever we are talking about capital market has 2 types of market, primary and secondary. Primary market is also known as your new issue market or fresh issue market, in which only the issue which is selling by the company will comes under the primary market. Secondary market is the market in which it is also known as market for existing security, and you are selling the existing security which is already available in the market. Okay. In primary market, only selling of securities take place, but when it comes to the secondary market, selling and purchasing both will take place in the secondary market. So the right answer for the first question will be D option. Second, forfeiting enables the exporter to avoid the following risk. So what is forfeiting? First of all, whenever we are talking about forfeiting, it is an alternate source of finance. As we know, around 60% of surplus of money or deficit of money or everything, we can say the circulation of the money in the country is managed by the commercial bank. So around 60% need of the money is fulfilled by the commercial bank in our country, but which is not sufficient. Not every person is capable of going to the commercial bank and get loan or get funds. So there are certain alternate source of finances available in which we can find funds whenever we require. So what are the different types of alternate source of finance? It can be your hire and hire purchase, it can be your forfeiting, it can be your factoring, it can be P2P lending, it can be your angel investors, venture capitalists, crowdfunding. So all these are the alternate source of finance which we use to raise fund or to collect fund or to have money with us. Okay, so whenever we are talking about forfeiting, it is a type of alternate source of finance. It is used at international level. Okay, forfeiting is used at the international level. So what kind of risk is avoided by the forfeiting? Is it interest rate risk? Is it currency risk? Is it credit risk and political risk? So what will be the right answer? A, B, C or D? Is it interest rate risk? Is it currency risk? Is it credit risk and political risk? What risk is it? Arul is saying B, 1 and 3 only. Okay. See how forfeiting works. First of all, it works in international trade. There is a person exporter and there is a person importer, and their mediator will be a forfeiter. Forfeiter will be the mediator, and this forfeiter will always be a bank or a financial institution. Okay, so this forfeiter enables this exporter and importer to exchange their goods and services by discounting the bills of exchange, or we can say by discounting the invoice which the importer give to the exporter. First of all, let's say the exporter has shipped the goods to the importer, and importer has given the promissory note to the exporter that I am promised to pay you the sum of amount I have purchased goods from you on, let's say, 28th of May. He is going to pay the money on 28th of May about the goods he has purchased from the exporter. But now exporter wants an immediate cash because he wants to conduct another trade. So in that situation, this exporter went to the bank or financial institution which is known as forfeiter and will give the promissory note to this party, to the bank and financial institution, and they will make the immediate payment to the exporter by collecting what? Promissory note. So they made immediate payment to the exporter, and when the 28th of May, the due date comes, this forfeiter will go to the importer at the due date, and this importer will have to give payment to the forfeiter. So this is the proper. First you have to sold the goods, second you have to issue the invoice, third the invoice will be taken from exporter to forfeiter, that is bank or financial institution. Then the forfeiter, it means the bank will give the fund to the exporter. At the due date, the forfeiter will go to the importer, and at the last, importer will do the payment of the goods which he has purchased from the exporter. So this is the overall process of forfeiting. Okay, and when we are talking about overall process of forfeiting, it covers what type of risk, it avoids what type of risk, it avoids all types of risks. It avoids interest rate risk, it avoids currency risk, it avoids credit and political risk, because he wants the payment at the right time. If we are talking about that he will get the payment on 28th of May, maybe there is a chances that the exchange rate changes. So it's why we are saying the currency risk will be covered, interest rate will be covered, and credit and political risk will be covered. So right answer will be D. 1, 2 and 3 all are true. Okay, right answer will be your D option, that is 1, 2 and 3. Clear? Similarly, Factoring also works the same way. Factoring is also a alternate source of finance type, and it works on the same way. But the only difference is for factoring will be for the domestic trade, and forfeiting we are using for the international trade. Okay, that's the only difference between the two. Now, next question is, to address customer grievances in respect of insurance contract on personal lives, there is an institution called. So whenever a customer is facing any kind of issue or any kind of problem, so the grievances of customer in the insurance sector will be solved by whom? Insurance ombudsman, insurance regulator, insurance intermediary, insurance regulator and development authority. So who manages or who solve the grievances of the customer in insurance sector? What will be the right answer? A, B, C or D? Parul is saying A. Okay. What about rest? So right answer will be your insurance ombudsman, where the grievances of the customer are addressed by the ombudsman. As we know, in banking sector we also have banking ombudsman, in which the grievances of customer, whatever problem a customer is facing, will be solved by the banking ombudsman. Similarly, insurance ombudsman works. Okay, so right answer will be your A option. Next, if there is default of repayment by the buyer in case of factoring, and the factor is able to recover the amount from the seller, it is called. Now the factoring is similar like the forfeiting we have discussed right now. This is also an alternate source of finance, but the difference is forfeiting helps in the international trade and the factoring helps in the domestic trade. So in factoring, if the buyer failed to pay the failed to pay the payment, or we can say the buyer defaults, then the factor, who will be the factor? Factor will be the bank or financial institution. The factor is able to recover the amount whatever he has given to the seller in whenever the buyer is buyer does the defaults. Now what type of factoring it will be? Is it a non-recourse factoring? Is it a without recourse factoring? Is it a recourse factoring, or it is bills discounting? So first of all, let's understand what is factoring. Factoring is the way in which it helps the seller and buyer to make their trade possible, and between them the intermediate will be your factor, and factor will always be your bank or financial institution, and the process will remain the same which we have discussed in the forfeiting, that first the seller will give the goods to buyer, and second the buyer will issue the invoice or promissory note, any kind of it can be a simple invoice also. Okay, and the seller will take that invoice to the factor will do the payment to the seller. After that, on the due date, the factor will go to the buyer and take payment from the buyer. Okay, but in case this payment has not been done by the buyer, then what will happen? The factor will went to the seller, and the seller have to repay the amount he had taken from the factor out of invoice. So what type of factoring it will be? Is it non-recourse, without recourse, recourse, bills discounting? Parul saying C, Rajlakshmi is also saying C. So right answer is C, that is recourse factoring. There are two types of factoring. First is recourse, second is non-recourse, and non-recourse is also known as without recourse. So both are same. Non-recourse factoring and without recourse factoring, both are same. So the right answer will be a C, in which if the buyer defaults, the factor, it means the bank, will take the money back from the seller, okay, which he has discounted. So the right answer will be your C option. Next, the number of which component of Central Board of Directors of RBI does not match? So the number of which component out of these of Central Bank's Board of Director of RBI does not match? So first of all, if we are talking about RBI Central Board of Director, RBI has maximum 21 members as a Central Board of Director. Okay, the maximum member can be 21. Out of which of this following is not correct? It's saying 1 governor will be there, 6 deputy governors will be there, 15, it is directors. 15 directors will be there. And fourth is saying none of the above. Which of the following component is not correct? Let me know what will be the right answer. So when we are talking about RBI Central Board of Director, Vinay Singh B. Okay. When we are talking about RBI Central Board of Director, RBI has governor, RBI has deputy governors, then RBI has member from local boards, then RBI will have member from Ministry of Finance, and the rest member will be nominated by Government of India. So these are the members will present in the Central Board of RBI. There will be one governor, there will be maximum 4 deputy governors, not more than 4 deputy governors are possible. Then there will be 4 members from local boards, 2 members from Finance Ministry, and 10 members will be nominated by Government of India. So these are the 21 Board of Directors of Reserve Bank of India. So which of the following is the right answer? B, deputy governors. Deputy governors can maximum be only 4 in the Central Board of RBI. The right answer will be B. Very good. Next. Which of the following is the instrument of payment called plastic money? Is it debit card, credit card, banker's check? What will be the right option? We are talking about plastic money. Acha, also let me know what does money means. What is money? Plastic money is debit card, credit card, or banker's check. Ashok is saying A. Okay. Do mention question number also. Okay. Whenever you are answering any question, then do mention the question number. Ashok bin also saying A, Vinay saying A, Nisha saying A. Everyone is going with the A option. That is true. It means debit card and credit cards are the plastic money. So the money, whenever we are talking about plastic money is the form of the cards we are using. Okay, so right answer will be your A option. Now, what does money means? What we can say that what is money? Whenever we are talking about money, what is money actually means? Can we say that money and currency both are the same thing or no? Both are same or no? Money and currency. Lata is also saying A. Okay. See, if we are talking about money and currency, both are different things. Money is something which can be used for the medium of exchange, for the exchange of goods and services. So money is something that can be used as a medium of exchange for the goods and services. So whenever we want to exchange goods and services, we want to purchase goods and services, whatever I have to pay, that is known as money. It can be anything. So money is a thing which can be used as a medium of exchange for goods and services and for the repayment of loan also. It means it can be anything. For example, it can be in the form of paper money, it can be in the form of gold, it can be in the form of share, it can be in the form of commodity. So money is something or anything which can be used as a medium of exchange. But when we are talking about currency, currency is defining or representing the particular country's money. Okay, so that is the difference between money and currency. The currency is a form of, or we can say the type of a money. Okay, one type of a money is also a currency which is defined by the particular country. So there are different types of money. We have commodity money, we have representative money, we have fiat money, we have hot money, cold money. Okay, then we have narrow money or broad money. So there are different types of money. It can be anything which is used as a medium of exchange. Okay, now next question. A settlement system in which the processing and final payment of the fund transfer instructions take place continuously is called. Is it debit clearing system? Is it credit clearing system? Is it national clearing system? Is it real-time gross settlement system? So which system is it in which the processing and final payment of fund transfers instruction take place continuously at the same time? A, B, C or D? What will be the right answer? Devashish is saying D, that is RTGS, okay. Prabhakar saying D, Deepak saying C, Rajlakshmi saying D, Srinivas saying D, okay. Nisha saying D. So everyone is going with D option. That is true. Real-time gross settlement. RTGS. RTGS is the right answer. Real-time gross settlement. RTGS is available for 24/7, and the next thing is the minimum amount which can be transferred under RTGS is 2 lakh. Above that, there is no maximum limit on RTGS. Okay, and it is 24/7 service now. Next, which among the following defines a non-performing asset? Which among the following among the following defines NPA, non-performing asset? What is NPA? In a loan account, the principal due has not been paid for more than 90 days. Second is saying in a loan account, the interest due has not been paid for more than 90 days. Third is saying both, or fourth is saying assets that have not been commented upon by the bank auditors. What will be the right answer? Related to NPA. Now NPA is simply non-performing asset. Okay, what is NPA? NPA is non-performing asset. Eighth is C. Srinivasan is saying, Priyanka saying C, Deepak saying C, Nisha saying C. It means both A and B. Okay, so here both A and B. Right answer will be C. So what is NPA? NPA simply is a non-performing asset. It is a type of credit facility which is provided by bank to the customers on which the principal and interest is past due for a particular period of time. Now, why we are defining a particular period of time in the definition? Because for the agriculture purpose, it is 2 harvest season, and for other types of loan, it can be term loan, it can be cash credit, it can be educational loan, it can be home loan, any kind of loan, it can be overdraft also. In these situations, we have 90 days duration for NPA, and after 90, it is known as non-performing asset, but in the agriculture sector, it is known as 2 harvest season. Okay, and the 2 harvest season maximum duration will be 1 year. It's not like a 1.5 year or 2 year. No, the 2 harvest season duration will be counted as the 1 year. Okay, so this is the answer of the 8th question, that is C, both A and B. So whenever we are talking about NPA, what type of assets comes under the NPA out of standard asset, substandard asset, doubtful asset and loss asset? Are all these assets related to NPA? Let me know. Standard, substandard, doubtful and loss. All the 4 assets is known as NPA. Yes or no? What is your answer? I am repeating again the name of assets. First is standard, second is substandard, third is doubtful, fourth is loss asset. So all these 4 comes under the NPA or not? Yes or no? What is your answer? Or true or false? All are part of NPA or not? Nisha is saying no. What about rest? Deepak is also saying no. Srinivasan is also saying no. Everyone is saying no. Because as per the accounting, the substandard, doubtful and loss assets are NPA. Standard assets are not counted under the NPA. So standard are not a part of NPA, but substandard, doubtful and loss are a part of NPA. In the further classes, in the earlier classes, we have discussed the type of assets chart also. Okay, in which we have discussed that the assets are divided in the two parts. First is standard, second is non-performing asset. In the standard asset, we have regular and stressed asset. Then in NPA, we have substandard, doubtful and loss. So we have already discussed the, yes, very good. We have already discussed earlier the chart of the types of assets. Okay, so do make sure you remember that chart. So right answer will be your C. Now next question. Banking Ombudsman scheme has been introduced under the provision of which of the following act? Is it Reserve Bank of India Act? Is it Banking Regulation Act? Is it Indian Contract Act? Is it Consumer Protection Act? So in which of the following act or in which of the following provisions Banking Ombudsman scheme was introduced? A, B, C or D? Yes, except standard, all are NP. Very good. Now what will be the answer of the 9th question? A, B, C or D? Acha, those candidates who are live in the session, do like the session once and also share with your friends who are linked with you on any kind of social media or any platform, so that they will also be able to watch the sessions. Okay, everyone is saying no. There are two options we are getting. First is RBI Act, second is Banking Regulation Act. A and B. Acha, we are getting D option also, that is Consumer Protection Act. No, it can't be true. The right answer is Banking Regulation Act 1949. Under Banking Regulation Act 1949, Section 35A, the Banking Ombudsman scheme was introduced. Okay, Banking Regulation Act 1949, Section 35A defines or introduced the Banking Ombudsman scheme, and it was reintroduced in the year 2002 and 2006. Introduced in the year 1995. This scheme came into year 1995 and this scheme reintroduced in the 2002 and 2006 year. Okay, so right answer here will be Banking Regulation Act. There are 22 banking ombudsmen in the country. The general manager or chief general manager will become the banking ombudsman in the country. And the another thing is, earlier there were 3 banking ombudsman scheme. First there were banking ombudsman for the banks, then there was ombudsman scheme for NBFCs, then there was ombudsman scheme for digital payment system. Now all these 3 is merged, then there is only one scheme, that is banking ombudsman scheme. Now there is no different banking ombudsman. Okay, now when a country has a trade deficit, which of the following statement is true regarding the trade deficit? First statement is saying it purchases more stocks and bonds from the rest of the world than it sells. It sells more goods to the rest of the world than it purchases. C is saying it sells more stock and bonds to the rest of the world than it purchases. And D is saying it purchases more goods from the rest of the world than it sells. So which of the following will be true regarding our trade deficit? A, B, C or D? Devashish is saying A, Srinivas is saying B. What about rest? We are talking about trade deficit. Achha, before answering this question, let's understand the concept first. First of all, we all know about the balance of payment. What is balance of payment? For example, this is the country India. Okay, let's take this is the country India. And apart from this, we have rest of the world everywhere. So this circle is India, and outside this circle, everything is rest of the world for us. Now, whenever India is happening, India is making economic transaction with this rest of the world, there is something which comes under the country, that is the inflow, or we can say income we are earning with the trade with by doing the trade with the rest of the world. And there is certain outflow in which we are paying or we are expending our money in trading with the rest of the world. Now what is balance of payment? Balance of payment is the systematic record of all the economic transactions Now, whenever we are talking about economic transaction, it is related to the money. So, when the systematic record of all the economic transactions between India and rest of the world is maintained in a financial year, it is known as balance of payment. Now, what are the sources of inflow? When we are exporting goods, we are getting funds. This is the source of income. If we are, if the foreign companies are coming in India for the investment, if foreign country giving us the grants, if remittance are happening, remittance means transfer of fund. The persons who are living abroad, the Indians, the NRIs who are living abroad, they are remitting money to their families. Or the tourism is also is getting the, also giving us the inflow from the outsource of world. Okay, now what is the outflow? In outflow we have imports. Whenever we are importing goods, we have to pay the money, so that is the outflow of our country. Now others will remain the same. We are going for the investment to the foreign country, we are giving grants to another country, we are remitting fund from India to foreign country, or we are going as a tourist to visit the foreign country. So all these transactions are economic transaction because these all are related to money. Now all these transactions maintained under the what we say, balance of payment. So this is the systematic record of balance of payment in which we maintain all these types of records. And under the balance of payment, we have three components. First, we have current account. Second, we have capital account. And third, we have financial account. So there are three types of accounting in the balance of payment. This is also known as accounting of balance of payment. This is also known as component of balance of payment. This is also known as element of balance of payment. You can call anything. Okay. Now, in current account, we maintain the export and import of goods and services. Export and import of goods and services record maintained under the current account. That's why it is known as balance of trade. It is known as balance of trade under the current account. So under the current account, we maintain the exports and import of the country. We maintain unilateral transaction. Unilateral transactions are one-sided transactions. After, we maintain the receipts or interest also. The balance of trade is comes under the export and under the current account of the balance of payment. Now, if this trade become deficit, deficit means the balance of trade gone to the loss. Now, when this loss will happen? When the import of goods is more than the export of goods, then only we will become the deficit trade. Then only we will find the trade deficit. So, balance of trade includes the transactions of export and import happening in the country for the financial year. Okay, and this, whenever the import is greater than export, it means we have paid more and we have earned less. So that is known as your trade deficit. That is known as your trade deficit. Now let me know which of the following option will be true. Which of the following option will be true? Now let me know for the 10th question. A, B, C or D. Which option will be true now? We have understand the concept. Now let me know which of the following option is true regarding the trade deficit. I'm saying D. Okay. What about rest? Vinay is saying D. Okay. Ashok is still saying A. Ashok, we have discussed the concept right now. The right answer will be your D option. It purchased more goods. Purchase means we have imported more goods. We have imported more goods from the rest of the world than it sells. Sales means export. So we have done more imports of goods in comparison to exports. So right answer will be your D option. Then the trade will become deficit. We have discussed just now that whenever the balance of trade went to the deficit, deficit means loss. It means we have imported more goods and we have exported less goods. Then only we will have loss in the trade. The right option will be your D option. Okay, D will be right option. Now let me know how much you have done correct after 10 questions. So those candidates, first of all, who are first to the channel, who are new to the channel, do subscribe the channel Officers Adda 24/7 and press the bell icon so that you will get all the notification related to upcoming session. And also do download the Adda 24/7 application. This application will help you to practice more questions. Next, there is an English medium batch. Those candidates who are not comfortable with bilingual batches, so there is English batch for you, English medium batch for you, which is started from 16th of April. All the classes which have conducted on this in this particular batch will be available for all of you in the recorded form. Okay, so this is the particular batch. To enroll in this particular batch, you have to go to the Adda 24/7 application and you have to use a code that is 496. You will get 78% discount in that. And if you are planning for more other exams, like for example after JAIIB, you want that you have to prepare for CAIIB, or you are not eligible right now but you are preparing for JAIIB for the next exam, then you can go for the Mahapack, in which everything will be covered. Ebooks will be covered, your mock test will be covered, your live lectures, all the live lectures will be covered, all the recorded sessions will be given to you. Now here the prices are little high, but you can use a code that is Y496. If you use this code, you will get 78% discount on Adda 24/7 application. Okay, so this is all.